everyone! So I have a process video for you today using the brand new farmhouse collection from Wild Whisper. I had an unboxing video up yesterday describing and showing you all the fun little bits and pieces. This is the first layout I made using this collection. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through everything and kind of decide on the colors I want to use, the icons I want to use, and things like that. I have chosen these papers. I'm going to be scrapbooking photos of my youngest son taking a ride on a horse. He actually took 3 of them. So I'm just going through all of the cards and all of the die cuts and everything and kind of deciding what ones will work with my subject matter and also with the colors in the photos and the colors I've chosen to use on my layout. I have 3 photos that I want to use on my spread today, and I'm going to cut 2 of them down into squares, and then I'm going to leave the third one as a 3x4. So these pictures are going to measure out to be, the squares are 3x3s, and then the other one is a 3x4. And I'm just showing you there how I'm going to position my photos, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps. This is one of my very favorite ways to scrapbook, is just to pick my photos, crop them down if they need it, and then decide where their position is on the layout, where I like them, and then fill in the holes, right? Fill in the holes with embellishments, fill in the holes with a title, fill in the holes with my journaling, all of those kinds of things. So kind of a grid, but not really. You'll see. So what I'm going to do is, I know I want some of the pieces from this cut apart sheet. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cut the cut apart sheet, just cut it all. I'm someone who always needs to have my papers in rectangles or squares or things like that. It always kind of messes with my head if they're not in like nice blocks of paper. So I always have to trim my photos out. And then I'm going to use this wood grain and this gray, almost like a pavement color type of photo of pattern to back my photos with. So my next step here is to go ahead and back my photos, and I decide that I need to move my camera apparently. Oops. And I end up moving my photos to that, away from that original configuration that you saw, because I decided that I wanted to back that middle square photo with that big sheet from the cut apart sheet that has the horses on it. So when I did my voiceover, I really thought I was going to go for like the sheep and the goats, and then I was going through my pictures and I realized that I had these pictures of Logan riding the horses, and I still have all the sheep and all the goats, and you'll see all those for sure. But I found these photos while I was going through my pictures, and I thought they worked perfectly, and I really, really liked them. So I decided I would go ahead and take advantage of the fact that I had horse pictures to use up some of these horse elements. And the colors in the photo were really set off nice by the shades of greens and browns that are in this collection. So I'm going to add this little stamp here. I'm going to move stuff around quite a bit till I decide how I want everything positioned. I know that I want to leave an open area to the left of on the left of my page, so you'll see me kind of right justify and kind of squish everything over, and I have a very specific reason why I'm doing that. So if it looks odd for a little bit, don't worry, it will all make sense very soon. So I know that I want to have one of those things that says, "The fun begins where the pavement ends." I know that I want that phrase, and the phrase is in the collection a number of different places, which means I have lots of size options to find the right size that will fit into my layout, which I really, really like. I decided that I'm going to use that certified journal card for my journaling, and I'm going to stamp on it a little bit to make it the title of my card and to make it fit in a little bit better and make that certified cohesive with the rest of my layout. I'm so sorry if there's a ton of background noise in this video. That wasn't my intention, but it got late, and so I have to do this while my family is cooking dinner in the next room. Whoops! So what I'm doing now is I just want this strip of horse paper, and this, I just want one strip of horses. So I'm just going to cut this one, I'm going to set it aside, and you'll see what we're going to do with it in just a little bit. I think now I'm going to, okay, so I have everything placed where I want it to be placed, and now I want to make sure that everything is straight, and I'm going to choose a stamp color. I wanted a nice warm brown, so I chose this one from Old to New. I think it's called Evening Gray. And I have the stamp set that is part of the coordinating collection, and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping behind some of my photos. I just want some of the pattern to be peeking out just a little bit, and then I'm going to use my T-square ruler, which I found, you guys. I found it. Woohoo! And I might have very firmly told my children not to touch it anymore. I don't know what the fascination is with the T-square ruler. I really don't. But they both just need to play with it. Okay, so I'm going to use my T-square ruler now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp little horseshoes and some of those diamond shapes that's in the background of that 3x4 card that will house my little die-cut horse. And I'm going to stamp behind, so what I'm doing is I'm starting at the bottom and I'm working my way up to the top of the layout. I'm taking away the piece, I'm stamping behind the photo or the card just to have a little bit of that, a little bit of those icons kind of poking out. And then I move on to the next card, lift it up, decide if I'm going to stamp behind it if I'm going to, and then put that card or that element down on the page. So I'm going to take some purple tape and I'm going to tape my layout down to my mat. I've been doing that recently quite often. It's working really well because my layouts tend to want to slide all over the glass mat. I'm totally fine with this because that glass mat has so many positives, so many reasons that I love it, and it was a really, really good purchase. I'm super happy that I purchased it, and I really, really like it. But I do have to have some thermal web purple tape handy because if I'm really trying for something that is very straight, very lined up, I need to tape my layout to my glass mat so it stays put. But that's okay. So I'm just going to continue to go down through here and stamp and move and stamp all these different elements now. So this is how I'm going to fix my title. So I took from the Farmhouse stamp set, there's a little scripty word that says sweet. So what I'm doing is I'm going to stamp sweet under certified, and then my title for this layout will be certified sweet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my journaling, and I'm going to write about how much my youngest loved riding this horse. We were at an animal park about an hour from our home. It's a privately run kind of animal park, feeding zoo type of a place, and they have pony rides that you can go, and my son rode this pony 3 times. He rode it, and then he asked if he could ride it again, and then he asked if he could ride it again. He was having so much fun. So I left him, of course, and we've done so little this summer, I wasn't going to say no to pony rides. And yeah, so that's what my story is about that I'm going to journal. So you can see how I have the journaling card kind of off to the side. I was having a little bit of light issues because I was picking this up. But I've heard people say about glare from their lights onto the mat board, and I have not had that problem at all. So I have had a little bit of this happen where like it'll sunspot a little bit, but I haven't. So this is why I cut that 1-inch trim of the horse paper, and this is also why I moved my photos and everything, why I kept them off to the right, because I taped down that strip of paper, and now I'm going to use it, and I'm going to, so what I did was I took a 1-inch strip of the horse paper, I adhered it to the back of my cardstock, and then I tore away the cardstock so that you had that little bit peeking through. And then this big area here, beside this photo, I'm going to tear it open a little bit more even and then staple it down. And I think it gives like this awesome effect. I really like it. I actually saw this technique of tearing the paper, like putting the strip behind and then tearing it from Missy Whitten. It is absolutely totally amazing because then you don't have to worry about having your, like, trying to measure it. You know it's still 8.5 by 11. You know it's still 12 by 12. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my flare button down. One of my amazing subscribers, Carrie, asked me how I liked my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I am currently in love with it. The bottle doesn't clog, it dries clear, it sticks really well. Super duper happy. So I went ahead and I did all of my journaling. Also, another thing I will say about the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, you only need a little bit. And my bottle, and you guys know from watching all my videos I put out, that I scrapbook a ton, and I am here to tell you that it worked fabulously, and the bottle lasts a really long time. I'm still not through my first bottle yet. So here are some close-ups. If you are interested in this fabulous collection, remember you can always use my code at wildwhisper.com, DT Sara, to get a discount off of your order, and I will be back next Monday. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.